Hello everyone, Ace here, and today let's talk a little bit more about short Fat Otaku, who is simply incapable of avoiding L's at this point, as demonstrated in this situation, for example, where a dev has taken to defending the government's actions at Ruby Ridge, essentially taking up the argument that the Weaver family deserved what happened to them. This was, for the record, during a livestream in which he also provided his position on the Waco siege, which he naturally also defended, though I am going to be focusing on the Ruby Ridge situation, partly because this is already a very long segment from Dev's livestream, but also because Ruby Ridge is a far more blatant example of government actions being utterly unjustifiable. Now, I was going to provide the full clip here, but then I realized the full clip will be over 21 minutes long, which would mean 21 minutes of raw, unedited Dev from his livestream, whose arguments I could probably counter in less than 5 minutes total, which would be at the point where Dev might try to seriously claim that video and argue that I'm flat out stealing his content or something. So rather than give him an excuse to mess with my channel and try to silence me that way, at this point I wouldn't exactly put it past him. He already broke his own principles months ago to try to silence me in other ways. That said, as a compromise, I've decided to post the entire raw and edited footage on Twitter, which at the very bare minimum should keep my YouTube channel itself safe, if nothing else. I'm also going to be providing a link to the actual live stream itself, which for the record Dev removed from YouTube, but fortunately is still available on Alt Tech, and provide the noteworthy timestamp in question, so you can still watch it for yourself if you should so desire that way. What I am going to do here is summarize the arguments that Dev has made in the course of his stream. To start off, Dev outright calls Mr. Weaver subhuman and an idiot for failing to appear to court over criminal charges, and that these criminal charges make him a scumbag. Of course, Dev completely leaves out the fact that the charges in question were producing sawn-off shotguns, specifically because an ATF agent undercover asked him to make such configurations to shotguns for him. So in other words, the horrific crime that he committed was in fact a victimless crime in which he was explicitly talked into doing so by a government agent. And let's not forget that the law he broke happens to be one whose very existence is an affront to the Second Amendment.
The Ruby Ridge standoff was a siege of a cabin occupied by the Weaver family in Boundary County, Ohio. Okay. They came to arrest him under a bench warrant for his failure to appear in court. Okay. What is it? You did buy me that. Yes. Like 2 weeks ago. No. You bought it for me. Fuck you. $2 if it does well. I'm also right about everything. What are the odds? $5 to manage Lope. The whole gut feeling thing is a bad idea. Do not be the immediate concluder. Be the wait for the facts, truth, or based. Based. Okay, let's see here. Oh, see this.
Oh, it's cold.
It's not even that cold, dude.
Cold.
6 marshals were sent to scout the area to try to arrest him. You back?
Yes.
They wanted him to surrender peacefully, but he refused to leave his cabin. God, on some level, I'm just like, okay. People, like, break laws and then don't, like, and it's not even like they have a moral reason. They're just, like, shitheads. And then they, like, don't go to court and they get arrested. And it's like, oh, what a tragedy. The only tragedy is that they fucking, like, these people exist in human shells but aren't actually human. Because they're too fucking stupid to actually be considered goddamn intelligent.
So as you can see, that is an accurate summary of Dev's first notable argument. He then covers the issue of Mr. Weaver being sent the wrong court date through the mail, and claims that because Weaver was also sent the correct court date immediately after, that this somehow makes the Weaver household completely irredeemable. What Dev manages to leave out, of course, is the fact that, as even mentioned in the Wikipedia article itself, whose very specific passage on the subject Dev audibly reads, covers the fact that the letter with the incorrect date was sent by the parole officer, i.e. the government, whereas the letter with the correct court date was sent exactly 1 day later by the private attorney, i.e. a private entity, and as mentioned was sent 1 day later. It is, for the record, entirely possible that the family may have received the parole officer letter later than the defense attorney letter. But even ignoring that, let's put Dev in the shoes of Mr. Weaver for a moment. Would Dev trust the word of the government or a private entity first and foremost? I think we all know that he would trust the government over the word of the private entity every single time. But not only that, Dev even goes on to rant about the fact that the Weaver household did not provide a telephone number to which they can be contacted, at first ignoring the fact that they were living off the grid without any electricity whatsoever, and later on Dev even outright arguing that because they were living off the grid, they absolutely deserved what happened to them because they should face the negative consequences that happen with living off the grid, along with the good consequences. The negative consequences in question that Dev is talking about is Mr. Weaver having his dog shot dead, then his 13-year-old son getting shot in the back and killed, then his own wife getting shot and killed while carrying a baby.
Like these people exist in human shells but aren't actually human. Because they're too fucking stupid to actually be considered goddamn intelligent. The guy wasn't informed on the correct date. Let's see. On February 5th, the trial date was changed from February 9th to 20th. The court clerk sent the parties a letter informing them of date change, and the notice was not sent directly to Weaver, only to Hofmeister. Okay. On February 7th, Richens sent Weaver a letter indicating that he had the case file and needed to talk to Weaver. The letter erroneously stated that Weaver's trial date was March 20th. Oh, okay. Let's see. On February 8th, Hofmeister again attempted to contact Weaver by letter, informing him that the trial was to begin on the 20th, February 20th, that Weaver needed to contact him immediately. Okay, let's see here. Hofmeister told the judge he had been unable to reach Weaver before the scheduled court date.
Oh. I'm entirely distracted because I just noticed whatever website you have pulled up says subscribe now, 10 cents for 1 month. That's pretty good.
For the Detroit Free Press?
Yeah. Anything less than 50 cents.
Weaver did not give him a telephone... So hold on. Weaver didn't give him a telephone number. So Hofmeister sent Weaver letters on the January 19th, January 31st, February 5th. Okay. So you do have the instance where one of the many letters sent to this guy said his court date was on March 20th instead of February 20th. Fair enough. This is a guy who seems to be actively avoiding not only the police who are summoning him to fucking court, but his own goddamn lawyer. Like,
listen, Dev,
stupidity.
You can't
fucking
judge
stupidity.
People for not having telephones because technology is evil, and it rots your brain.
Stupidity.
But also, you have to prove that, Dev.
I can't believe this is the guy who's shaped most of my beliefs and most influenced my politics. God help me, please make more political philosophy videos. What do you mean, Anatolope? I'm right on this. Yeah, but the more that I read, the more I'm like, this guy's just an idiot.
Yeah, but Dev, you have to prove that.
That he's an idiot?
Mm-hmm. You have to prove that with data evidence.
Okay. Here's the idiot. Here's the evidence. Weaver did not give his defense lawyer a telephone number to contact him with.
What if he didn't have one?
The Weavers lived off the grid, Dev. Well, sucks to be you then.
Yeah,
then you know what?
Well, listen, no. He's not stupid, though, if he didn't have a telephone number to give him if he doesn't have a telephone.
Hold on. If you live off the grid, and then you suffer from the negative outcomes of living off the grid, then yeah, that's on you. Because here's the thing. When you live off the grid and you enjoy the positive outcomes of living off the grid, that's also on you too. You don't get to shirk away all the negative outcomes of what you've done and only enjoy the positive ones. No. If society needs to get a hold of you because you've done something wrong and you're going to court and you're like, well, I'm off the grid, I don't know. Then fuck you.
What about people's free choice to live off the grid? It doesn't make them stupid, though.
His free choice to live off the grid? Well, then you know what? That comes with the responsibility of accepting all negative outcomes of living off the grid, including the fact that if you miss your court date, you get fucked. Dev, didn't you know that one mistake by the government totally nullifies you from all their attempts at correcting it? That's in the Constitution. Little do they know that Dev has a time machine powered by bad faith. He goes back in time and changing facts and suppressing time truth through the Mandela effect. Based.
Okay, well, wait. Did he live off the grid? Or was he part of society and just lived rurally? To have a farm? Does it say?
I don't know.
Because that does change whether or not he's an idiot. Because if he would literally just live, like, super rural. Like, when was this?
1992.
Yeah, so if he lived super rural, there might not have been, like, any phones out there. Because, like, when I was young but old enough to have a cell phone, so I was, like, double digits, there was no cell phone service out by my grandparents' place. But now there is. And they live pretty rural.
Hold on. It is acceptable to murder a young man and his mother because, government. No, here's what it is, right? You're summoned to court. You don't show up. All right? Then the cops come and get you. You start fighting the cops. And then you die in the fucking, in the ensuing conflict. Yeah, it's your fucking fault. Of course it's your fucking fault. Jesus. The Blonde, I just went through that. I just fucking went through that, Blonde. I just went through that. One of the many letters they sent had the wrong court date. And then afterwards, they immediately started sending him more letters with the correct court date, and he just didn't fucking reply.
I mean, you can't listen and shit. Get good, Blonde. Yo, wait, why did his mom die?
The feds didn't announce themselves. Yeah, listen, when they're coming to arrest you, they don't gotta, like, announce. Be like, we're here to arrest, like...
Well, don't they have to announce that they're arresting you and try and read you your rights?
That's after they apprehend you. Like,
But you still have to announce that the cops coming to arrest you, right?
After they apprehend you. Oh, no. Listen, if the feds have a warrant, they can just kick your door in and fucking take you and then haul you outside then say, okay, we're from the police. Here's why.
No, I understand, but I watched too many cop shows and they all like scream that, hey, police. Like, unless it's like a sting. Like, was this a sting or was it they're coming to arrest him? I'm not sure how that's true. You should look that up, actually. Yeah.
They shot his dog and his son. Damn. Sounds like he shouldn't have fought the police over something stupid.
Yeah, but why? Why were these other people shot if he was the only one fighting? Was everyone fighting?
I don't know. It wasn't a sting, it was a raid. Okay, whatever. Still.
I don't know about this one, Dev.
What do you mean? No.
Well, no, because, okay, no, listen, like, obviously, if one dude...
The police shot first. Yeah, I don't care if the police shot first. Sometimes there's reason for the police to shoot first, man. Like...
If the main dude, okay, I don't know what happened, but if the main dude is, like, fighting the police, then yeah, he's probably gonna get shot and die, even if he didn't start the fight. Either or, that part doesn't matter. I am more concerned about why the rest of his family also died. If the rest of his family was also fighting, then it makes sense why they died. But if they were cowering and hiding, and he was the only one fighting, then it doesn't make sense that they died.
Man, like...
But I don't know enough about it.
If the police show up with a warrant, all right, and they're like, we're gonna arrest you, and then the fucking firefight breaks out, and the police kill you or your family, it's like, well, shit, dude, like, it's not the police's fault. If they had like a legitimate warrant to be there, no, it's not the police's fault.
Yeah, but are they? Well, no, and then that's why I'm saying that you should look up the cop thing, because if you don't have to yell about being a cop, then yeah, there's no there's no moral high ground for the shooting victim.
It's also of note that despite Dev always claiming to be the sort of individual who will wait until the dust settles to ensure that he has all the facts, is so very quick to judge the Weaver household. claiming that Mr. Weaver, who he falsely claims died in the Ruby Ridge siege, was entirely at fault. Reality, of course, disagrees with him. Dev is objectively wrong here. By his own standards, I should admit, because the courts themselves found after the siege had ended that Randy Weaver and his close friend Kevin Harris had not actually committed any crimes during the actual siege itself. Harris was completely acquitted of all the charges, which included, for the record, killing a US Marshal, on the grounds that his actions were an example of self-defense and therefore completely justifiable. Mr. Randy Weaver was admittedly charged with failing to appear in court, and was therefore fined and served 16 months in prison as a result. However, when it came to all of his charges with regards to the actual siege, they were completely acquitted on the grounds that his actions were an example of justifiable self-defense, meaning that the courts themselves found that the US government was ultimately in the wrong, at least with regards to the actual siege itself. Not only that, but the remainder of the Weaver household, along with Mr. Harris, sued the US government separately for the behavior of the US government and received some significant settlements out of court as a direct result, with the Weaver household collectively receiving a total of $3.1 million and Mr. Harris receiving another $380,000. This could all be found in the summary at the very beginning of the Wikipedia article that Dev is reading through. That's before even bringing up the fact that government agents were later convicted of deliberately destroying evidence that further incriminated the behavior of the US government itself during the siege, meaning that yes, it was proven in court that the government at least partially tried to cover up what happened. And yes, Dev was trying to use this Wikipedia article and this incident to argue that we should trust the behavior of the government. I could keep going, but honestly, this became beating a dead horse long ago. The main point here is that Dev is once again defending authoritarianism to such an extreme degree that he has to disagree with the courts of the US government itself in order to do that. He has to argue that the US government itself and its findings with regards to what happened at Ruby Ridge are simply incorrect in order for him to be objectively correct that the Weaver family was entirely at fault. Now, as I've already mentioned at the start of this video, I will of course be providing a link to my Twitter account where I provide the full 21-minute long video, just to make Dev further eat his own lies when he tries to falsely claim that I take him out of context. And I'll also of course be providing a link in the description below to alt tech sources of the stream with the timestamp in question, so you can check that out for yourself if you should so desire. But in any case, this has been Ace. Hope to see you guys again soon. Take care. Ace out.